Okay. Doing the thing, doing that. And we're live, baby. We are live. It's another fantastic Tuesday live stream. Hopefully you guys are doing great. Hopefully you guys have had a fantastic weekend. I'm glad to be here hanging out with every single one of you guys. Again, it is gonna be a nice chill stream. I think we all kind of need that. It's been a very long weekend, but I'm glad that I'm here. Made it to Tuesday to be able to hang out with every single one of you guys. Make sure to do me a solid and share this around with as many people as possible. Let people know that we are live right now. This is the best place to be if you are, hoping to hang out with some members of the community. You're not too sure where else to go. Have a good time and just chillax and listen to some good old Airsoft content, and also tonight's topic as well, which is actually, I think, is going to be pretty damn interesting. Video games and Airsoft. Right, video games and Airsoft. If you guys remember, about, I want to say 2 months ago, approximately, maybe 3, we did kind of a tier list for all the different movies / TV shows, but basically movies, all the movies that kind of inspired us or that kind of had a bigger impact in the Airsoft scene, maybe inspired us to go out onto the Airsoft field itself. I kind of wanted to do something very similar today, where I'm going to be doing a video games tier list and of how, of course, it is relevant to the Airsoft scene. How has it impacted the Airsoft scene? Our community as a whole, is it still talked about? Is it still relevant? Is it still a fun game to play? Again, these are all going to be things we're going to be talking about during tonight's live stream. But I do want to remind everyone that during these live streams, you have the best chances of increasing your odds of winning this week's live stream giveaway. Again, happening this Thursday, just 2 days away from now. And all you got to do to partake is place a $20 or greater order, and you're automatically in. We are counting a week's worth of entries, so any orders from last Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, till 2 days from now, the next Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, that is the time frame we're looking at. If you have a $20 or greater order in, you have a shot. You're in. You're automatically entered, but the promotion's going on right now. Every $50 you spend will be getting you 2 chances of winning, and you order yourself a Mayo Gang mystery box, our newest mystery box, our best mystery box yet. You'll be getting yourself 15 chances of winning the giveaway all for yourself. Again, it's a pretty hot deal, honestly, which I would not recommend sleeping on. It is fantastic. Make sure you do that tonight. This is the best time to do so. Let me go here. Let me go here. I'm gonna leave a link as well to all this good stuff that I wanted to let you go. That I wanted to remind you guys on as well. There we go. Haha, there we are. All right, there. Right there. This mystery box. This is the one. This is the one. Which, by the way, if you guys haven't been keeping up with our social media, we have less than half of these available. There is less than half of these mystery boxes available. Make sure to jump on it. Seriously, now while you can. If you guys don't believe that this is an awesome prize, just look at the prize list on here. Several customs, freaking high-end guns as well, gas blowbacks. There's some baller shit in here, man. There's some really, really good stuff. You don't want to miss it. I will leave a link to the mystery box into the live chat for everyone to read for themselves. But again, just make sure you get it tonight. Again, that's your best chance. 15 chances of winning an additional awesome Airsoft gun that's on top of whatever it is that you win from this mystery box. Again, this is something that we just like to do extra to give back to the community. And if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about in regards to the giveaway, this is what I'm talking about. The rules are on our website. I will also leave a link to those as well on the live chat. There you go. There you go, baby. Make sure to check that out now while you can. And we actually have plenty of new products as well that actually just hit the site. If you guys haven't been keeping up with it, take a look at this. Look at that. Is that B5 systems? We're talking real furniture on here? Real stuff? Yeah, baby. Yeah, we're bringing more real stuff in. That also includes stocks and actually more HoloSun as well. We are bringing in some more HoloSun optics as well. More colorways for the Nexus SA HPA Airsoft engines from Mech Labs. These are pretty freaking sweet. Honestly, I love the way that these perform. Actually, I've seen several videos of these now. These are actually pretty solid, honestly. These are very, very solid. Again, I myself am not the biggest HPA guy, but if I were for a V2, I actually might go that route, honestly. But again, still plenty of awesome new products for you guys to go and check out. More drummies, more drum mags, which I know was kind of weird, but I was like, I haven't seen a really well put together, good quality MP5 AG drum mag in a while. I kind of, I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of thinking about picking one up myself just because I saw it. I was like, you know what? This actually looks pretty cool. There's more stuff for you guys to take advantage of as well. Again, I'll leave a link to the new products page as well on the live chat. That way you guys can check that out. There you go. And again, any $20 greater order, you're automatically entered. So, with every $50 you spend getting you 2, you get yourself a hollow done right now. You can imagine how many entries you'll be getting. A lot. It's a lot of entries. It's a great chance for you to maximize your potential of winning. Now, this is a Q&A hangout live stream, and like all previous ones we've done before, I will be answering questions as soon as I possibly can, but there is a discussion topic for tonight. But if you do have any Airsoft related questions, or just questions in general you just want to ask, even if they're not Airsoft related at all, by all means, you are more than welcome to do so. Just put the letter Q right in front of your question. It's going to make it a lot easier for me to spot and identify when you put it in the live stream live chat. Please, put the letter Q. Definitely makes it a lot easier. Oof, like significantly easier. But with that being said, let us get right on into the discussion. Actually, before that, I want to see who's here. Let's see. All 23, 24 congruent viewers, thank you guys so much for joining in on tonight's live stream. Guys, remember to share this around with as many people as possible. Let people know that we are live and they got to get their orders in. And if they want to have fun with tonight's topic, I strongly recommend that they get involved. Let's see what we got here so far. Primo Tech, baby. What's going on, dog? Alvin L. Mr. Savage 710. Hello. Victor Montes. What up? Mario Morrison Soto. Hello there. Hello there. Hat Blackheim. Oh, ahoy, Captain. I was reading that like freaking what's the name of the pirate from SpongeBob? Whatever his name was. That's what I'm thinking about it. Ruben Moreno. What's up, my man? What's up? What's up? So excited to go airsofting this weekend. Battlehack Easy Top. I think he meant 10 fields. Honestly, I've always wanted to go. I've always wanted to go. Victor Rodriguez. Hello, man. Hello. Can't wait to have it. So excited about the Mark II. Hey, baby. That's what's up. That's what's up. The Mark II is my favorite. Brewer. How you doing, dog? How you doing? 2A Warrior 92. Airsoft transfers to call. Same play style. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're not. I mean, I think there's more nuance to it, but yes, in a nutshell, yes. Darwin's Robert, my man. Good to have you here as well. Night Force, Grigori 94. Hello there. That's a pretty good box. That is a good box. That is indeed a good box. SoCal Veteran, hello. Yeah, I saw your message about your prizes. Freaking good polls, man. Good polls. Oh man, my throat is freaking dry as hell. Hold on, let me drink some awa. There we go. Also, AMs are slept on. Yeah, that's what people have been telling me too. Joshua Landers. Hey, my man. No, yeah, there is 15 entries for a mystery box. Absolutely, it's right there on the left-hand side. Scrolling down. RPG Lovers, hello. You know, Drum Max, say absolutely. Billy Mota, dude, good to have you here as well. Justin Wilson, what up, man? What up? Wick the Airsoft, hello, man. Good to have you here as well. You guys are tuned in. I'm glad to see everybody here. I'm glad to see everybody's here. Again, continue to sharing this around as much as possible. I know we're obviously not going to get anywhere near as many viewers as we do on a giveaway night. Trust me. I know. Giveaway nights, I know all the maybe not true diehards, the not proper members of the Mayo Gang show up for that. But you know what? It's okay. I'm glad I'm hanging out with every single one of you guys. Again, let's see if we can get more people involved. Because again, why not? You know, I just want to have more people involved in these things, right? But with that being said, this is what we're going to be discussing tonight. Video games, video juegues. Let me see if I can expand that. There we go. Yeah, baby. Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So I have this tier list. If you guys have never done a tier list, I don't know what to tell you. It's 2025. People have been doing these for so long now. It's so overplayed, but you know what? I still think they're very fun. But I have a list, just a few. There's no way in hell that I can do every single video game franchise license. These are just games that I have noticed or that you could make a debate for that has played a pretty big part in the airsoft zeitgeist, right? These are things that you will see people reference on a fairly regular basis, I would think, and to some varying degrees, right? Things that, properties that have either inspired us to get into the game, things that, again, we look at and we want to recreate certain loadouts or builds, right? These are specifically video games that we maybe even have a little bit of nostalgia for, and we try to go ahead and replicate those same moments in Airsoft, right? Whatever the case may be, I just want to go over a few of these. Again, just why not? Because I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be absolutely fun. If you have suggestions, feel free to go ahead and let me know what your opinions are. And if you want to completely disagree with my takes, you are more than welcome. This is just kind of what I'm thinking, but again, I'm willing to negotiate. I'm willing to negotiate if you guys say so, right? If you guys have an idea, by all means, feel free to go ahead and just go ahead and disagree with me. Counter-Strike is an OG ass game. I started playing it around 2001. Dude, hell yeah. Battlefield, Call of Duty, GTA. I don't know about the GTA, but maybe I guess I could kind of see it. I guess I can still kind of see that one. But okay, let's start off first with, is there a way to do like really old? Yes. Okay, let's start off with a grandfather of an FPS game, right? Let's start off with an OG. Doom, baby. We're starting off this list fairly far back on the timeline. Doom. We're talking 93? 1993, baby. This is an old school boomer shooter, the OG, the classic Doom. All right. Now, where exactly am I putting this? I don't really know. Here's the thing. I don't see this one talked about as much. And if people do talk about it, they're usually going to be referring to the newer reimaginings, right? Or I guess the reboots of the series with Doom Eternal, and now Doom the Dark Ages, right? Which are fantastic games on their own. But you got to remember, I wanted to put this on the list because this, without Doom, it's a very crucial piece of DNA. Right? It's a very big piece of the FPS puzzle that kind of gave us, well, everything. This and Quake I attribute to the sort of creation of the modern FPS game as we know it, right? Especially with Doom. And you can trace it back even further if you go Wolfenstein 3D, but I'm not going to get into that, right? But where would I put this? I would probably say I would give it a C. I would give it a C, maybe a D. Not because, again, it's a poor quality game or anything, but you got to remember, it's not as frequently talked about as much, but again, I do want to pay respects to the elders as much as I possibly can, because you got to remember, Doom had multiplayer back in the day. People were going crazy for Doom multiplayer back in the OG days, when the dinosaurs still walked around. I'm kidding. It's not that old. But this is a very big piece of history that I think a lot of people, even though it's going to be a little bit more outdated, maybe a little bit more niche, I still will hear the occasional reference to it, and it always is going to be something that puts a smile on my face when I hear that, right? I have seen a few more, especially in recent years, I've seen a few more cosplayers as well putting together Doom Guy kits, which is actually hilarious. The double barrel shotgun, again, I think Doom definitely plays a hand in making just a double barrel, the idea, the concept of a double barrel so famous, right? Again, Doom had something to do with that, man. So I would say C. I would say C, honestly. At least from my humble opinion. You guys are more than welcome to disagree with me later. Just put in the live chat. Let me know what you guys think about that as well. All right, but moving on. Another boomer shooter. We got ourselves Quake. Quake is interesting because, technically speaking, even though Quake is, something that would be, say, a successor essentially to the Doom series, right? Taking the giant leap into 3D. That is a very big step, right? That is a very, very big step in the FPS world. Well, we're now moving on from this sort of weird, phony 3D, but it's actually just 2D, just made to look like an optical illusion. This is legit 3D with actual, momentum in certain items that are like actual projectiles, which is a huge step. That's a major milestone in game development. I'm probably going to say D just because it's not as referenced anywhere near as much as Doom. Because at least with Doom, at least most people have heard of it, right? It's motherfucking Doom. But Quake, I like the series, but I just don't really see it being referenced as much, honestly. Yeah, most people think, I forgot it was a fake Doom. Yeah. So I will go ahead and put it down. I'll just go ahead and put it down into D, if that's okay with all of you guys as well. Remember, guys, anyone that's just joining in on the live stream right now, make sure to get those orders in. Any $20 greater order, you're entered into Thursday's giveaway. Every $50 you spend, though, we'll be getting you 2 entries in the giveaway. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I forgot to do something. Where is it? Okay. There's that one. Let me go ahead and unlock that. Yes. Promo properties. Mayo Gang. MB orders get 15 entries. Haha, there we go. Oh god, why is it placed so? You know what? Hold on. Let me try that one more time. 15 entries. We'll do that. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's way better. All right. We'll lock that. There we go. Yeah, Mayo Gang mystery box orders get 15 entries. What the frick? How do I misspell it? What the hell? There we go. That's better. That's better. And why is this one spaced? Can I not type today? Jesus Christ. There we go. That's better. That's looking way better. All right, back to the list. Back to the list. Okay, next up that I wanted to go in and bring up. Wrong one. There we go. Counter-Strike, baby. Counter-Strike. What? Oh, the humble beginnings of Counter-Strike as a mod for Half-Life, right? And took on a life of its own. And its legacy is still felt even to this day, especially in meme history with CSGO, right? With so many people referencing so many memes that originated from that game, that whole esports scene that came from it. The whole knife bundle, like a package thing, you know, the knife skins. You guys remember those? That was a wild ride if you lived through that. But man, Counter-Strike. I'll say this. I'll count Counter-Strike as a whole series, right? I'll count the whole 9 yards. This goes from everything from the OG to CSGO currently. I would say, you know what? I would put it actually appropriately in the B tier. I would put it in the B tier. Here's why. You know shit's getting down when someone says rush B. When someone says rush B, right? Smoke mid, rush B. You know there's no confusion as to where that's from. That's Counter-Strike, baby. You know? Now, while I will say that, and I don't see too many people trying to replicate the loadouts from there, which honestly is pretty like a missed opportunity, because goddamn, like those loadouts, those are classic, right? Those are so funny sometimes when you look at some of those old school shit. Like, I love that shit, right? But I'm just saying, you know, there's like the skins, dude. It got to the point where even companies for like limited editions would actually have like Counter-Strike paint job and skins, custom Cerakote jobs that were available retail that you could buy that were taken directly from the game, right? Like, if that's not, again, like worthy of noting down, I don't know what is at that point. You know, I don't know. So I would say a B tier is appropriate. Now as a child, let's see, Fortnite better not be lower than B. Not even as a child, it awakened so much of the collabs and the battle royale game mode in general. Actually, I would give that award to PUBG. I would give that to PUBG. Fortnite is 100%, in my opinion, the definition of style over substance. Like, seriously, too much. It kind of went the same way as like what Call of Duty did, where it's like we have all these different collabs, we have all these crazy things going on. When in reality, all we wanted was just a solid FPS, man. We wanted a solid, fun FPS, boots on the ground experience, right? That takes itself just a little bit more seriously. Again, that's why do you think Battlefield 6 is gonna be Battlefield? We're so back. We are so back, man. CS is the OG for domination game mode. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, again, that was if you were hardcore into the domination game mode, right, or in just FPS, right? If you were knee deep, balls deep into the FPS scene, you were playing Counter-Strike, right? Everyone was playing Counter-Strike back then. Like, the regs, you know, the normies were playing COD and whatever other mainstream FPS game, but Counter-Strike was always meant for the we always kind of regard it as more like the hardcore stuff, right? I hate Call of Duty, it's bullshit shit. Yeah, you're not wrong. Counter-Strike psy-up me to loving the AUG. Lancer 8. That's funny, dude. Here's the thing. I don't hate the AUG. Here's the thing. I actually, unironically really like the AUG as a platform. It's not bad for Airsoft. Remember, guys, it's still using a version 3 gearbox. You could upgrade the shit out of that. And it's not super hard to access either in terms of, you know, assembly. It's not like an AK, right? It's nowhere near as bad as an AK. Like, the AUG is actually fairly easy to work on. If, like, again, a lot of my texts are the same thing, right? All right, now moving on. I'm gonna be moving on to other game series here as well. Now there's one on here. There's two actually that I wanted to go on. I'll do the first one. Medal of Honor. Oh boy, Medal of Honor. Interesting little tidbit of history if you didn't know. Medal of Honor was actually originally supposed to be a video game tie-in for Saving Private Ryan. If you didn't know that, yeah, it was a lot of the same guys from DreamWorks wanted to put together a game that was, you know, very much inspired by Saving Private Ryan, right? And the events that took place during that movie. So what they decided to do, because, you know, in order to get more freedom with what they can do with their license and with their property, they came up with Medal of Honor. Which, again, very weird piece of history. This was during, and this was, especially if we're talking about the PlayStation 2 era, right after. This is PlayStation 1, but we'll count the whole series. Medal of Honor, while they have made modern FPS games in terms of like, hey, yeah, they're gonna make set stuff in modern times, right? They are is very well known for their contribution to the World War II scene. If you guys don't remember, the late 90s, early 2000s, especially early 2000s, had a very big obsession with World War II. Very big obsession with World War II, right? It was massive, right? Every FPS that was coming out was trying to do what Medal of Honor was doing, right? It just was. It was massive at the time. You didn't really see too many like modern FPS games coming out, right? Or if they did, they just weren't getting the same, I would say, draw that World War II was doing. There was a World War II fascination going on for quite a while in the early 2000s, right? And this was at the spearhead of it. This was definitely spearheading that whole movement, right? And I could see why. And I think that whenever you talk to any World War II reenactors, whenever you talk to any older heads or airsofters that you see on the scene that are rocking, like classic World War II gear, they're going to make a reference to the Medal of Honor series at some point or another, right? Even if they're younger kids, they're going out of their way to play these older games. This is definitely something that I feel is still talked about to an extent. I don't know if it's going to be the same level of Counter-Strike, because again, the World War II fad in Airsoft, it unfortunately died out, and I hate to say that, and that's someone that wants to bring it back, right? But I just don't see it being as prevalent as Counter-Strike, I would say. I'll say more than Doom, but yeah, I think highest of C ratings, low B, is probably the best position for it. You guys forget, even in Airsoft, how big the World War II stuff was. There was so much of it. There was so much World War II options that we had available to us. And again, it just overnight, over the time, everyone just wanted the most modern thing. And that's kind of like what brings me to like today, right? But before we get into that, there's another game. At the request of my good friend Airsoft Brewer, I would be remiss if I did not at least mention it. The SOCOM series, baby. The SOCOM. Now, as I was saying, the majority of the hype for FPS games at this time was definitely on World War II. However, that's not to say that there wasn't good modern shooters out there. You know what I mean? That there wasn't any good like shooters that were set in more relevant or recent time frame, right? SOCOM delivered that. SOCOM was delivering on that front where there just wasn't really that much, right? I would say this is going to be just slightly below Medal of Honor. I do think if you are an older head in the Airsoft scene, and again, a gamer at that time, I definitely think this is a big contributing factor as to why you probably got onto the field and kind of got into the whole gun scene, right? I see a lot of like older players that maybe don't play as often anymore. I see a lot of older gamers like referencing this game, like, oh man, that was a great game. And I believe you 100%. I've tried it for myself. It's a fun-ass game. But I just don't see it being referenced anywhere near as often. And that just might just be a time thing, right? It was a little bit too early. It was a little bit too ahead of its time for its own good, right? Because that game came out now, right? I think it would have people kind of interested as well. Now, the other series that I wanted to go ahead and bring up as well, or the other game I wanted to go ahead and bring up, and this is going to be one that I'm going to mention its multiple iterations as well. Call of Duty, the original, the OG. This was another game that really wanted to capitalize on the World War II like hype that was going on at the time, man. And again, it really did help. When I heard a lot of back in my day when I was starting Airsoft, right? And there was still that holdout of World War II like enthusiasts. They would also mention that the OG Call of Duty games, COD 1, 2, and 3, were pretty big inspirations for them to want to play Airsoft and big motivators because they really wanted to, start putting together their own World War II kits and shit, right? I will say that it's probably up there with Medal of Honor. It hadn't reached that level of peak yet. It definitely, don't get me wrong, I think Medal of Honor knew that it was about to be replaced, for sure, right? Medal of Honor knew it was about to be replaced soon, because Call of Duty was coming up. They had the potential to change it all, because it was making, for some reason, it really capitalized on, making itself more accessible to the average player. Even though Medal of Honor had the same thing, something about Call of Duty, man. Something about the OG COD games were making themselves more well known. They were getting to the point where they were getting referenced in like The Office in the early seasons. If you remember when Jim transfers to like another office, another branch, like the biggest pastime that all the employees there have, they all play like LAN party. They all have like do multiplayer matches and shit. Dude, it's hilarious. That shit was hilarious, man. So you know it was getting big when it was getting mainstream attention like that, right? So I'm going to put the OG CODs there. I'll say I know I have the original one right there. I'm going to consider that one 1 through 3, right? Because they're all basically kind of the same. They add a little bit to each one, but it's basically the same sort of vibe, right? I see what we got. Let's Squirrely Nuts, what's going on, man? Good to have you here as well. Real Wild, my man. Giles Tenacious, good to have you here as well. Crazy J, hello. Dude, Big Red 1. Yeah, dude, I do remember Big Red 1. That was a fun-ass game. I wasn't a nerd geeking out on old COD, so maybe that's it. That's the thing. People were back. It's just like when it hit us, you know what I mean? It's like, when were we when these games came out? That really plays a big factor into how popular or how high on tier lists these really come up, man. You know? Now, the next one I'm going to go on here as well. You can't tell me all those face masks dying wasn't because of Army of Two. That's true. Army of Two, well, I just don't see it being referenced anywhere near as because those masks never really sold that well. You know what I mean? Like, maybe in the early 2000s a little bit, but I never really saw. Dude, I remember at the old location, we had boxes, crates of those. They wouldn't move. They wouldn't sell. Mystery Man, what are we doing here again? Yes and no. Not so much the game quality of itself, because these are all good games, honestly. These are all arguably good games, with the exception of Fortnite. But these are all just going to be games that I think probably have a bit of a history and relevance in the airsoft scene. These are games that might have inspired us to get out onto the field playing. These are games that we try to replicate loadouts from, just to kind of give you the overall vibes and how it relates to airsoft, you know? Okay, Squirrely Nuts, don't come for me. don't come for me. Don't come for me, Squirrely Nuts. What the fuck is this? Doom on C, a Quake on D, Esther, just because Doom made FPS pop the thing, and Quake made arena shooters. Here's the thing. Hear me out. I'm not saying. I love how Squirrely Nuts came right for the fucking jugular on that one. Hear me out. I'm not saying they're bad. Fuck no. You will never catch me saying that shit. I know to respect my elders, all right? I wasn't even born when these games came out. But here's what I'm saying. Are people still referencing them? Are people still talking about them? Are they still something that you would see, being referenced on the airsoft field? Do people still try to build loadouts? That's the only reason why. I know. I said the same thing if we didn't have Doom or Quake, we wouldn't have FPS shooters as we know. You're right. And I 100% agree. It's just more so, how relevant are they right now, specifically to airsoft? You know what I mean? Who the hell started airsoft because of Wolfenstein, dude? That's what I mean. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see too many people being like, "Oh yeah, I can't wait to get myself an MP40 so I can make myself a Wolfenstein loadout." You know what I mean? Like, maybe there's one guy out there. You know what I mean? I'm sure they exist, but I just don't really see it, like, ever. You know what I mean? Actually, Jails Tenacious, I will say you are wrong on the Doom part. I have met several people, and I actually know one personally. He's my best friend. I've met several people that have actually put together a Doom-inspired loadout because of the game. Like, 100%. That I see more, especially with Doom, obviously, having its revival in 2016, Doom Eternal, and Doom the Dark Ages. You know what I mean? You run games like, hey man, these are all normal people. Well, screw the hardcore and Quake were mainstays in VFX, and they were. Absolutely they are, dude. Like, here's the thing. I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm just saying how relevant they are in the air scene. Like, do people even talk about them? They may not be referenced, but the DNA is all through in the game. Yeah, that's why. If we were just talking on, like, again, just the game as of, these would be at the top of S tier. You kidding me? Like, no question about it. But again, I just don't see them really being talked about as much, unfortunately. However, you know what? Actually, I'm going to put this one. Actually, I'll put this right here. You know what? Now I'm thinking about it. I will at least put it above. Come on. Hold on. There we go. Yes, that's better. Yeah, I'll put that there. Closer. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. There's a reason for it. It's nothing to do with the quality of the game itself. But its DNA, yes, you're right. It can be traced to everything, right? To all these different games. None of these would exist without these two. Respect your elders. Anyway, moving on. The next one, again, kind of before we hit that sort of modern era, right? I would say Battlefield 1942. Battlefield 1942. I think this is really when we started seeing, like, kind of the birth of what we know Battlefield a little more. At least it started resembling it a little bit closer to the traditional Battlefield that we all grew up and loved, right? I would say that there's a case to be made here, right? It is still part of that World War II hype for sure. I think this is probably one of the last holdouts of that, is like the kind of like that marker. You can be like, okay, it's one of the last ones that you can find that really tried to bank on the whole World War II scene, because that World War II scene was slowly starting to die out, right? And it's going to be the next game that does it, that ultimately puts the final nail in the coffin, right? So I would probably say this one would go, I'll go behind COD. No, I see people talking about this more than the old school COD, so I'll just put it above there. Definitely not surpassing Doom, though, just because, again, I can't in good conscience do that just because of what Doom really did, you know? That's B. Current FPS evolved from the crude graphics of Doom and Quake. They inspired improvements in tech and really... Exactly. You know, you're right. You're right. 100%. I'm not disagreeing here. This is just how relevant are they in terms of, like, Airsoft, right? Like, we don't see too many Airsofters talking about them per se. That's the only reason. That's the biggest thing right now. Sogaman's talked about because most Airsofters now weren't born. That's right. Like, most Airsofters weren't, really. Battlefield 1942 may won in 1993. Yeah, dude, seriously. Battlefield 1942 was freaking hype, dude. It was freaking sick. Now we're getting into what I like to consider the modern, pre-modern, whatever you want to call it, right? This is when you saw the huge media shift. The focus was no longer on World War II conflicts anymore. The focus was now what is happening right now in the scene, right? The zeitgeist was very much GWAT, baby. Let's focus on that GWAT. That's what we're going for, right? And that's kind of where we're kind of still at to an extent. We're focusing very much on the modern and what's happening now, which I'm not always a big fan of. But again, this is at the time. You got to think about when this came out, right? Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Where do we begin? How do we begin? What can we say, right? I mean, I don't even... You can't tell me. Especially if we're talking about I'll say, like, slightly older millennials, maybe like that last, like, generation of Gen Xers, right? Growing up, and they played the OG, Modern Warfare, right? Like, that got a lot of people into Airsoft, dude. That was a huge, huge marker for Airsoft. Huge, man. You know what I mean? If I had to put it just based off gut instinct, I'm going to put that in A. It's not S yet because there are a few things. I would say maybe close. Right? That's right. The Modern Warfare chat lobbies, dude. Oh, my God. That's right. And this is when we really started seeing normies really start to adopt, like, sort of like the lingo. They start using a lot of these terms, right? That early FPS COD like scene it's just so funny, it's just so funny to see how it's still basically the same. Like, some things have changed, but some things have remained the same, man. That's A tier, just because, again, I think the first one, while it is super popular, I don't think it compares to what some of these next entries are really going to be. I really don't think it's going to compare to what the next ones do, because I feel like some of these other ones, it's an obvious S tier, right? Okay, next one. This one also, I feel like, got so many people into Airsoft as well at that time. Because remember, now when it came to FPSs, you were either one of two camps. You were either COD, or you were Battlefield, baby. You were Battlefield, right? And this is where I think the lines were really being drawn. Battlefield, specifically Bad Company. Battlefield, Bad Company. This is also another one. Now, I'm going to say it's less than the OG COD, Modern Warfare, right? I'm going to say that. But not by an entire, not by a huge milestone. This is just the first Bad Company. Not Bad Company 2 yet. That's next. Right? This bad boy, I still see people referencing it. Not as much, but when people do talk about it, you get people's heads turning on the field like, oh, you guys talking about Battlefield? dude, like 100%, like that gets people talking. Like everyone knows what COD was. That's the reason why it's on A tier. But Bad Company just had that special something, you know what I mean? It just had that special sauce added to the mix, you know? I don't know what it was, and even I think the developers to this day will say, we don't really know what we did, but it was fun, you know? So there. Now, Bad Company 2. Bad Company 2, I would say, is higher. So I would still consider it a little less than OG or COD 4 Modern Warfare, but more than Bad Company 1. I'm going to say it's definitely got to be at the top, for sure, of A tier. It's definitely got to be there for sure, next to COD 4, right? It just improved. It just did. Grenade spamming also was at an all-time high, which was hilarious in that game, right? That game is just so, like, it's literally cocaine. It literally was, right? And coming to S tier, you keep trying to argue me. Just hear me out. All right? I'm just saying, I don't see it as reference as much as, again, it is referenced quite a bit because when someone brings it up, everyone's head turns, right? But everybody knows, like the first Modern Warfare. But here's where things get a little interessante, right? Actually, you know what? Nah, it's got to be there. I have to be fair. As much as me personally, this is fucking S tier. This is bona fide S tier right here. Bad Company 2, Battlefield 4 are literally my favorite games of all time. Like, they're some of my favorite FPS games of all time. The only FPS like that really tops them is probably going to be Titanfall 2. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, right? I think that like Titanfall 2 is literally my favorite FPS of all time. Literally of all time. I think that followed closely by BF4. I love Battlefield 4. I spent so many years playing Battlefield 4. But Bad Company 2, man, the first time I tried it, I was in heaven. Because I had played COD, and it was fun. Don't get me wrong, it was very fun. But something about Battlefield, man, it just fucking, oh. You're right, Prime Tech. You're absolutely right. Watch Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 2 get S tier. Because they are. Because they are. Modern Warfare 2. Holy shit. I cannot tell you how much people to this day are getting into Airsoft. That I literally just had customers in store that were saying that they used to play Modern Warfare 2 and that was like their favorite game of all time. Right? To this day, I cannot tell you how many people still reference it. And then we got the meme culture as well, right? Task Force 141? You kidding me? That's where this shit, like, you know what I mean? Oh, fucking all, and then of course you have all the characters there, is right. You know, like, again, people will still try to create the loadouts to this day. Like, it's just so, it's cemented itself in FPS history and also in Airsoft history, because this is where so many of us really got into it, right? This is where this was the jumping point for so many people to get into Airsoft, right? Like, it really is. That's where the whole, like, the mainstream love for the SCAR really came from. If I'm being honest with you, I'm like, yeah, like, you can trace it back. Before Modern Warfare 2, not as much hype for the SCAR. After Modern Warfare 2, oh, dude, what the hell? That shit, oh my god. That shit was crazy. That shit was nuts, right? The amount of cosplayers that we still get to this day for this. Not even like the updated like COD Modern Warfare series, but the OG series, right? I still spank fools in OG Modern Warfare 2. It's fun as fuck, dude. Are you kidding me? It's so fun. You got fucking UMP, reflex sight with the suppressy, vertical grip, bruh. Like, what the freak? Dude, hell yeah. That shit was so much fun. I remember playing this so much with my little brother, too. Even well past its prime, we'd still play it just because it's fun. And the campaign still holds up. So much so, they remaster just the campaign for you to buy, right? And it's fucking sweet, right? That's how you know you got a bona fide winner there. I'm saying that rightfully belongs on S tier because, one, it was mainstream enough and accessible enough that everyone got into it. It brought more people kind of awareness of different platforms that exist in the modern sphere, if you will. It had a banging campaign that people still reference on fields to this day. You can't tell me, Ramirez, get to the Burger Town. You know what I mean? Like, people will still say that shit to this day, right? It's so funny, dude. Like, that is definitely got to be there for sure on top of S tier. Now, we're moving on, right? We're moving on. Yeah, that's UMP was a demon. It was, dude. The UMP was crazy. DJ, what up, man? Good to have you here as well, dude. Oh man. The wonder years when you couldn't mod your weapons into a laser gun, bro. That's fucking hilarious, bro. Oh man, that's so funny. All right, and I might add some more. Options on here as well, just because I do. Now that I'm looking back, I did this in a rush, right? I was like trying to go over the big ones, but there are some other series on here as well. Ghost Recon as well. Tom Clancy games in general. Like, there's quite a few different flavors of which we could add onto the list later on. Oh man, like Modern Warfare 2 though. That shit fucking. Oh my god, dude, crazy hype for it. Like, bro, you can't even imagine. I was there when it was there. You know, when it was happening. Now the next one. Squirrely, you already read my mind. My mind. Black Ops 1. The OG Black Ops. That's certified S tier, baby. That's also S tier. These two, peak. Absolute peak gaming, right? Peak gaming right now in terms of how relevant it is to the airsoft scene, right? I genuinely believe, I'm being serious here, think about it. Think about everything I've said so far. I genuinely believe if we did not have Black Ops, if we didn't have Modern Warfare 2, like if it just ended at Modern Warfare and that was it, I don't think if we had these two games, I don't think we would have had the airsoft explosion that happened in the late 2000s, early 2010s. I really don't think it would have taken off. And I don't think airsoft would be anywhere near as popular if it weren't for these two games. I think there are more contributions as well that other games provide, very much so. But I genuinely don't think that we would be... And it also helped change the landscape for airsoft as a whole, right? Modern Warfare 2 specifically got us into the modern hype, right? What's going on right now. Very much focusing on sort of like the GWAT era at the time when it was still very much just the current day and age, right? It very much got us hyper fixated on what the current setups and loadouts and gear that were being used are. That it really much got us focused on that. Black Ops honestly was just such a fun and accessible game that got a lot of people into it. Now, there's also another kind of dual effect that Black Ops had. Because it being a Cold War themed video game, there were a lot of people that were getting into the various platforms that the game provided. There were a lot of people that were at this time, right? You got to think when this came out. It was still 2010? Yeah, it's 2010. It's 2010 when this came out. All right? This is very much helped kind of encourage other airsoft brands to start bringing over other platforms as well. More, maybe slightly older stuff. Right, we're talking Galils, we're talking FALs, we're talking G3, like all this other more like retro style platforms. Even though G3 is not that relevant, it was in Modern Warfare. But anyway, it started encouraging companies to start coming out with other things as well, and which I'm very much happy for. And to this day, even guys like Scott from US Airsoft will still say it's because of Black Ops that he got his love for the Galil. And very much so. I still see people talking about Black Ops to this day. And even in a meme sense, right? Like, the numbers, Mason, what do they mean? You know what I mean? Like, that shit is still being referenced to this day on the field. And I hear it fairly frequently, man. Like, very, very frequently. And this is a game looked very fondly on by many people. I will still, even myself, I will still play this game whenever I have, like, company over, like my little brother. Playing this game is always going to be a blast. It's always going to be so much fun just to do or even just doing couch co-op. You know what I mean? It's still very much fun. It's still very much a fun game that really made sort of like this sort of firearms world or, you know, all this sort of shit very accessible to the normal, like, Joe Schmo, right? And there's still a lot of people to this day that are still harking for older style platforms or more vintage style stuff because of what Black Ops provided, you know? Okay, answer that one as well. All right, go. Now that we moved on to that, I want to give a reminder. Remember, every $20 or greater order you place, guys, will automatically enter you into this week's live stream giveaway. Make sure to go ahead and read the rules all for yourself. You want to partake in this. There you go. right? Make sure to go ahead and read the rules so you're all caught up on that. If you want to go ahead and increase your odds immensely by getting yourself 15 chances of winning, make sure to go ahead and order yourself the Mayo Gang Mystery Box. We have less than half available. Make sure to go ahead and get yours now. You'll get 15 chances of winning, so don't miss out. I saw there was a question here. DJ, what's going on, DJ? Is there any other difference between the AK-12K and the AK-1223 other than the barrels, like internal-wise? No. It is going to be the exact same internals between the two. Now, if you're looking at specs, I do have to update the specs section on the airsoft gun because they're actually shooting a little bit hotter than initially anticipated. The AK-1223 is actually going to be shooting closer to like 410 average FPS. It's going to be shooting a little bit closer to 410 average. We tested it out, while the K is going to be shooting like at that 400 FPS, fairly average, right? It's going to be hitting that fairly consistently. That's it. RPS is going to be the exact same. Literally everything is going to be the exact same. Like it's literally just going to be the barrel setup. That's literally all it is in terms of the differences. So you can go either or, and you won't really be missing out on too much. Cisco says the 3 inches there is very substantial. You'll see the video when it comes out. He makes an argument for why 3 inches is actually better than average, some would say, and would be very much missed if it wasn't there. He really let him sold himself out when we were recording today, dude. It was so fucking funny. All right, scrolling up, make sure I'm missing anything. So there was no unit while you're so trolling. Those games are yourself accessible and portable. Yeah, people die because I'm scared of little. What to see here? Let's also put Black Ops and answer down as well. See here. I see there's a little bit of like arguing. Guys, let's try to keep the arguments down, please, in the live chat, please. Y'all can debate a little bit here and there, that's fine, but let's keep it civil, guys. Let's keep it civil. I mean, the physics on Bad Company were just it, man. You could fire a tank round off and see the round spinning through the air. Yeah, no, it's true. The Levolution that game gave us was fucking cool. But I just think Levolution has like gotten so much better, and destructible environments have just gotten so much better with time, right? Like, I will still praise Battlefield 4 for that, honestly. Which kind of brings us to my very next point, the very next one. Battlefield... That's 3. Battlefield 3. Okay, this was also a big one that I see people referencing quite a bit. I will say this one is going to be slightly above. I'd say it's around here. I don't think it achieved that S tier rank just yet. Not yet. It's close. It's close, right? Battlefield 3, I think, is very much a cult game, right? I think it was very popular when it came out, but it just doesn't have the same reach that I think its original ones, predecessors of Battlefield, Bad Company 2, or even Battlefield 4 were able to achieve, right? I want to put it in S tier, but I just don't really see it being talked about as much. If I were to put another Battlefield game on S tier, it would actually be Battlefield 4. It would actually be Battlefield 4, because it brings so much of the stuff from 3 into 4 and adds more to it, right? Actually, you know what? Just for that, I'm gonna do this. 1 second. There we go. I'm gonna bring this. Hold on. There we go. Save image as JPEG. All right, then we're gonna go add here. Yeah, we're gonna add this just because I think it's important, right? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say it's about right here. I'm gonna say Battlefield 4 is S tier. Here's why. Battlefield 4 had it had its moment in the mainstream light, right? For sure. But like a lot of FPS games, it ends up kind of getting pushed to the side in favor of whatever's currently coming out. Here's the thing, though, that's special about Battlefield 4. And yes, you could make it an argument for all the other Battlefields as well in this series, but specifically for, we haven't seen a Battlefield game retain its so many players, its original player base, and even getting new players anywhere near as much as Battlefield 4 has. To the point where even like streamers and like YouTubers are coming out and saying, dude, I can still get full lobbies immediately for Battlefield 4. There's still such a thriving community for Battlefield 4, right? It is. I played the shit out of that game when it came out, right? I'm not gonna lie, getting on an emotional level, it kind of got me through a very dark time in my life as well, when I was having to go to college and I didn't have any airsoft anything, right? I would turn to what I considered the next best thing, which was Battlefield. I played the shit out of Battlefield 4 for hours and hours and hours. I spent whole weekends like not doing anything other than eating and playing Battlefield 4, right? That was my whole thing, because I missed Airsoft so much that I felt like, well, Battlefield 4, I guess, could kind of fill that hole for a little bit, right? And it kind of has a special place in my heart. And yeah, I guess you could say it's a little bit of bias, but seriously, like, if you go right now, I guarantee you that there are people that are still on the airsoft field to this day that will still boot up Battlefield 4 with their homies, because it's just so much fun. It's so cool. And people will still try to build whole loadouts based on Battlefield loadouts as well. Like, I see it all the time. You kidding me? People will still come in storefront and looking and like show me screenshots of the player models, because they want to be able to go and recreate the same thing in the same vein that people were doing it for Modern Warfare 2, right? And I'm like, damn, that speaks volumes as to how popular and accessible and how much more, even more so, of a cult following that Battlefield 4 has had, despite its age. People are still trying to play this game, right? And I think that kind of just tells about like what people are really looking for, right? And why do you think Battlefield 6 looks so freaking epic? It's just because in my eyes, I see it as the proper successor to Battlefield 4. That's the way I see it, man. That's just how I see it, you know? That's what it feels like in terms of its vibe and its essence and what it's bringing. It's literally giving Battlefield 4 updated for 2025. That's what it feels like, right? And there's a reason why so many people are playing the open beta right now. I'll be on Battlefield 6 beta this weekend. Hey, that's so... Yeah, I am very much looking forward to when that game comes out, because that is going to be a game that because now I actually have a modern console, and since I love the Battlefield series so much, that is going to be a game that I am going to try, not on stream, because I don't know how... I'm pretty sure I would suck. But I will want to try to play with everybody, because Battlefield is just that special to me. And I cannot wait to play it with you guys as well when it eventually does, become a thing and it's not just open beta anymore. I was already getting older and my eye coordination couldn't keep up. I'll take it. I would put Bad Company 2 in its place, but except I feel like that's the disapproving dad. It's like acceptable at best. You know what I mean? Just judging me the whole time. Round 2 is here. Download the beta on your PC or console. I have PS5 right now, so I mean, I kind of want to do it, but is it worth it? I don't know. You know what I mean? I kind of want to wait till the whole game comes out. I don't even want to pre-order it. As much as I'm tempted to, I feel like I shouldn't pre-order it. I should just buy it when it comes out, you know? I would love to play round 2 with you. See, Hadu was right, bro. What the fuck? I'm old, man. I'm old. No, the best is on my shirt. Missing things for playing 2. Main reason why I wear normal clothing. The Division. Yes, The Division is another series that I gotta put up on here as well. I will be putting that up here as well. Scrolling up. Yeah, that's facts. See, I didn't play 4. I'd get smoked so fast. I sucked, dude. I still will play Battlefield 4. Dude, it's just such a fun game, man. It's just so cool. It's so sick. That's fact. BF4 made me want to get a sniper that across the map sniping. Hell yeah, dude. Battlefield 1. I don't really see it referenced as much as often. I mean, it's more, man. Battlefield 3 and 4 intermingle in my head. That's because Battlefield 4 brought so many things that 3 had. It just brought them over. You know what I mean? It just literally just migrated on over to 4. Right. The biggest thing that I know BF3 for having is a notorious blue filter. Do you guys remember this? For some reason, there was this weird obsession with a lot of games. With the COD series, it was very much browns and slight greenish tints to its games. No idea. I think it's a stylistic choice, but it felt like there was this weird filter on games back then, right? Brown, orangey, maybe even greenish tints to it. But BF3 very much had this like crazy blue filter on it. I think BF4 kind of found a sweet spot for it. Maybe not perfect, but still better. BF3 was just, I just remember it being blue. Like, it was an assault on the eyes, just how blue it was. And I'm judging the shits out of this list. I figured out as much. Oh, dude, that's hilarious. Homie G, what's going on? What 2011? Modern Warfare 3 in IKEA stat. What? in IKEA status. What are you talking about? In IKEA status, what nah, bro? Where's Boss Man to fix yet another list? He don't play games. He don't play games, man. And he didn't fix the list. Again, the tier list that Boaz and I were working on, when we did our Airsoft companies, like literally it was like we did our own list, and it was like bro came in and just was like, no, it should belong here. It's like, okay, well, this was our list, but thank you for ruining this. Let's never do this with you again. Can't express our opinions at all when it comes to our tier lists. But oh well. Oh well. All right, moving on. Moving on. The next one on our list. Now, this one's kind of strange. Black Ops 2. I don't know where to put you. You definitely are at bare minimum A, but are you S tier? Are you S tier? I don't really know. I don't know, man. Part of me wants to say yes because of how, again, COD is always going to have the accessibility, argument, like how easy it is to get into it, right? How accessible it is to everyone. But I don't know if it's as referenced or as revered as, say, some of these older games. I don't know. If I had to guess, I am going to say it goes maybe here. For now. I'm going to put that here for now. If you guys have a counter argument, I'd be very happy to listen to it. But I think I'm going to stick with A. Scroll. Yeah, you agree. Yeah, but it's A tier. Here's the thing. Out of the entire Black Ops series, while the first one is my favorite, I know Black Ops 2 is superior. I know it is, just on a technical level, on what it offers the player. Like, it is just a better game in general, right? There's nothing wrong with Black Ops 1. It's just, Black Ops 2 has so much more. Right, it added so much more to the mix. I think Treyarch fucking cooked with that bad boy. It did, right? It absolutely did. But will I say it's more influential for Airsoft, more so than OG Modern Warfare, than the original Modern Warfare? I don't know. And if I'm gonna be honest, I don't think so. I think it's right under it, for sure, because I think that people still look at it very fondly. Absolutely. But I don't know. I think it definitely, in terms of just how, because again, this was the first time that like people would have ever seen the M27, like ever. It's funny because Battlefield 4 was like, if I remember correctly, the 416. Was that one in Battlefield 3? I think it might have been. But the 416, I feel like most people remember in BF4 for some reason, even though I think it came out earlier. But Black Ops 2, the M27 was like the first time that people had ever really seen the M27 in a mainstream way. I think it brought a lot of these platforms that maybe not as many people were talking about, and that were eventually being brought in slowly, even into our current military or into various militaries across the world. I feel like this was kind of the big step into really like, hey, this is like cutting edge at the time. These are being introduced, and Battlefield 4 kind of did the same thing as well, but it brought to be a little bit more accessible, I think, maybe to most people. Because for some reason at the time, I remember people looking at the Battlefield series like it was a little bit too hardcore for some reason. I don't know why. It was always there. You could make the argument it's just as accessible as COD, but COD's always marketed itself as being like the go-to FPS, right? So I think Black Ops 2 was a fucking fantastic game, right? But I just don't see it referenced as much as these guys. Now, referenced, yes, absolutely. I would say more so than Bad Company series for sure. I definitely would say that. It's tough, man. It definitely is tough, but I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there for now. You know what I mean? I'll leave it there for now. COD, Isaias, World of War has been similar masterpiece. Yes, Darwin's Arbiter, you are absolutely correct. World at War is a absolute masterpiece. Is it a bit historically inaccurate in some spots? Yes, but again, it's video games, man. Like so many of them are inaccurate in so many ways. But I will say Modern Warfare 2 World at War definitely gets the vibe across. It's an experience, man. You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely do mean that. World at War is so fucking good. But again, do I see it as referenced as often? Again, it's sort of that it unfortunately is still part of that World War II hype that was slowly dying off at that time. It was. You know what I mean? When you have Modern Warfare, like, going up against it, you really can't, like, compare the two. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it were me personally, that's an S tier game just in general, but in terms of its relevance to Airsoft, it probably wouldn't rank as high, to be honest. In my opinion, as a game, S tier all the way, though, for sure. This list is what game inspired you most to get an Airsoft or get an Airsoft PvP. Yeah, exactly. May want an Airsoft Thompson and Arasaka. And again, I think that for a lot of people that wanted World War II guns, they would definitely look at those old World War II games. Currently, you know what? Just because, just to make you guys happy, I'll do this. Just to make you guys happy. I'll do this for y'all. Because I'm a nice guy. You know me. You know, it's your boy. Alright, where is it? Well, yeah, there we go. I'll do this. World at War. Where would I put it? For me? Yeah, I'd probably put it as much less than. Oh, that's a tough one. You know what? I'll put it. You know what? I'll say this. You know what? I will do B. Here's why. Because even though the game got phased out fairly quickly, right? It got pushed out. You cannot tell me it hasn't found a second life. Thanks to obviously a lot of people being reminiscent about it, and like streamers, right, and being able to bring it up again, and maybe just looking at, you know, the fact that people were bored with the modern games that were coming out, that they'd look back to the past and see just how good these games were. And World at War kind of got a second life, kind of like Battlefield, right? Kind of like Battlefield 4, how it just kind of got revived all of a sudden because the games that were coming out at the time, people weren't happy with, so we looked to the past, right? So I will say maybe it has that B status because, again, it is still, while it is still part of that like sort of dying breed that World War II games were very much finding themselves to be. You know, people, especially if you were a little bit younger, not as old of a head in Airsoft, people would still look at this game as like, hey, now I want a Thompson, or maybe I want, you know, an Arasaka, I want a 1903, I want a Browning from this thing, you know? So I'll leave it in B. Now the next one. This is what I like to call the beginning of the end. Modern Warfare 3. Modern Warfare 3 was cool for the campaign, and I'm going to be real with you. I didn't really like it that much. I didn't really like Modern Warfare 3 that much. Actually, Squirrely, you bring up a solid point. You're right. It does say cemented spot in B because zombies. Come on. It's zombies, for sure. But yes, going back to Modern Warfare 3. It was kind of boring. I'm going to be real. Modern Warfare 3 is not my favorite. I'm going to be real. It definitely feels like the campaign, it was good. Don't get me wrong. It was fine, and it definitely felt like it gave a solid conclusion to the series. But it just didn't really hit the same notes that Modern Warfare 2 did, which is unfortunate, right? It is unfortunate. I would say it's B, but it's below. It's below World at War. It's below World at War because I think World at War it got its second life, and Modern Warfare 3, it just feels boring. You know what I mean? It just feels absolutely boring. Even like multiplayer just doesn't hit the same notes. Like it just, you know what I mean? Like it's coming right off the heels of Black Ops. You know what I mean? Which furthered, you know, the zombies as well, and it just didn't really feel like it could really compare. Like between these two, Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops, I would take Black Ops in a heartbeat. You know? Absolutely. Can't sign on. What do you mean you can't sign on? COD through Xbox isn't working. Oh, okay. I thought you weren't agreeing with the list or anything. Modern Warfare 3 is BJ. Yeah, I would say so. Wasn't S&T planning to make World War II replicas? They do currently, and they still are planning on making more. But again, one company, you know what I mean? Like one company doing it because they want to like offer something that not too many people are offering at the moment, you know? Okay, now, that one out the way. There's not really much to talk about with Modern Warfare 3, really. Oh, man. This one's going to get contentious. Hold on. I want to make... What is this? Can I make a new one? No. Okay. Add a row below. And I'm going to call this... Yeah, I think that's appropriate. I don't think anyone's really... Okay, if you're going to argue with me, make your cases. Because I'm going to be real. Is it just my bias? Does it belong? No. But maybe it. No. But then again, no. Wait, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. But then again, I don't know. Fucking okay, help me out here, chat. I don't know. I don't actually don't fucking know. Please help me. I actually don't know what to do with this. I don't know. Please help me. What do I do here? I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. What do I do? Okay, on one hand, yes. But here's the thing, at the time, right? If it's like influential, I want to say yes, but it should be higher, but I just feel like it died quick. Not the game. I know the game's still going strong. I'm talking about its influence in Airsoft. Like, I think if we were talking, peak 2018 going into 2019, maybe even a little bit into 2020, right? Because obviously the pandemic, we were all fucking bored inside. Like, I would have said this would be at probably A or B tier, right? I would have even said maybe A tier at that point, if we were back a few years ago. But I never, ever see anybody referencing Fortnite ever anymore. It used to be obnoxious when it came out, right? When it was still at its peak. But now, dude, like, no one ever even fucking talks about that game on the field. Ever. That's right, they joined it because of it, but you're not seeing anybody still talking about it. That's the thing. This is why I'm in... You don't see people still talking about it. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, it did a good job initially for like 1 or 2 years, but it doesn't have the lasting power that a lot of these other S tiers and A tiers have. You know what I mean? Honestly, its influence on Airsoft is definitely an F tier. And here's the thing. I know I have... Like, you don't have to convince me that it definitely had its staying power at one point. It did when it was still at its peak. Right? But I don't know, man. Like, right now, I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. The one game that I'm saying, like, that came out around the time that I think has even more staying power, that's a tough one. I would say PUBG has more influence than Fortnite did, but I don't know. Maybe... I don't know, man. I don't know. I think I played half a game of Fortnite, quit mid-game, and never looked back. That's what I'm saying, right? That's what I'm saying, too. But then again, that might just be our bias. But at the same time, on an objective level, people only were into it. Like, Airsoft really only got into it for about a year or two before they quit. You know what I mean? Most people that play Fortnite don't also play Airsoft. That's really there's less people playing it than you would think that play Airsoft. I know they exist for sure, obviously, but you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, the last time I played Fortnite was when they did Miku and Godzilla Cup. And here's the thing: Modern Warfare, the remake, did a Godzilla and a King Kong collab, and they were better. Man. I would say PUBG would have more of an influence in that sort of genre, but in the battle royale scene. But tell you what, I will say it gets. Yeah, and PUBG definitely had it beforehand. You know what? But people have mentioned. I don't know. I played for like 5 minutes and didn't know what I was doing. And never picked it up again. It's like I looked at it and I remember my buddy Aaron. If you guys remember Aaron Fabio, that man who used to be part of the marketing series. He was part of the marketing department before Cisco had taken over at the time. Fucking great guy. I remember one of the first times we hung out together. I thought he was like this super cool dude, right? Like, it's Mr. Popular. Turns out he's just a big old video game nerd too. And his go-to game at the time was Fortnite. He would play a fuck ton of Fortnite. And I remember watching and I'm like, this is whack. This whole, like the building. I mean, there's a whole thing of like, what is it, zero build, right? Where you can not have the building be a thing and take place. But I don't know, man. I don't really know. You know what? I'll leave it here for now. I will leave it here for now. And if someone can make a more compelling argument to me, then sure. But if we're looking at what I'm judging based off of, right, the continuing lasting effect that it has, the influence that it had on airsofters, it did have a massive effect, but like only for 1 or 2 years. That's the thing. You know what I mean? That's what I'm gonna say. That's what I'm gonna say about it. Okay, I will add more to it. Yeah, leave it there. It belongs in a museum. All right. I'm gonna add another one. I'm gonna add another one on here. Okay, here we go. This one, you guys, I'm gonna put it up here, but you guys might like the answer that I have. You might not like the answer that I have for it. I'm gonna put you here as well because I'm gonna add another one. The Division, baby. The Division. The Division. All right. I don't know, man. Here's the thing. Like, I don't. No, it's definitely not it. What the fuck? I don't know where this one would really go. I have no idea. Here's the thing. The Division, I will say, has a little bit more staying power than I think a few of these other things, right? Yeah, you are 100% biased, RPG. You are 100% biased. Let's be real here. You know what? Yeah, I will say B. I will say, you know what? I will say it's above Modern Warfare 3. How about that? I will say that. Malaysia Airsoft, it's high B. I'll say it's I'll put it in the B tier for sure. I think that's a good place. I think that's a good place. I will say it's definitely in the B tier because of its lasting power, specifically in the loadout scene. In the loadout scene specifically. That in that regard, oh my god. Yeah, absolutely. But I think that I speak for everyone when I say that the game was a bit overpromised at launch. It felt like I don't know, it just felt like a slog to get through. You know, enemies were bullet sponges. It felt like there was so much content missing. It didn't feel rewarding at all. Like it just, I don't know, it just didn't feel like it lived up to the hype that it had. Now, with that being said, though, I will say it still plays fine. I think the overall idea, the themes and the loadouts and the vibes, I think are fully there. I think that game is like fucking sweet, right? Homie G, what's going on, Homie G? Wait, is this an Airsoft influence vid? Yes. Video games and their influence on us as Airsofters. Did they, you know, how effective were they at getting us into Airsoft? Are they still part of the Airsoft zeitgeist right now? Because there is that overlapping, right? I would say that in terms of like civilian clothes with tack gear, while it's definitely not a new thing, and you could even argue that that's more contractor based, there's a lot of people that go for the Division because of its customization, right? And they love the ability to be able to go out and, you know, put together these cool ass loadouts, and people will recreate them in Airsoft as well, right? That's like, oh yeah, I have my whole Division loadout on here too. Like people were all about that scene for a while. I think there's even a episode of Tactical Gearheads that we used to do way back in the day. There was one that specifically was inspired by the Division as well. Yeah, I would say. Yeah, you know what? Yes, I will say it's B. I will say it's B. Miss Savage 710, that's actually going to be the next one that I wanted to go and talk about. Hold on, I misspelled it. No, not Resident Evil 6. There we go. There we go. This is the next one that I want to talk about. Now, this one is interesting. This one's very, very interesting. What do we have to say about... Oh my god, where'd it go? About Rainbow Six Siege, baby. What are we thinking? What are we thinking? I'm gonna leave it here for now, just because, again, I'm just trying to move my mouse over here. Okay, that's better, that's better. Okay, what are we thinking? What are we thinking, boys? Rainbow Six Siege, right? What are we thinking? Siege, I remember... when this game was, you know, at its peak, I remember a bunch of people trying to build loadouts based off the various operators that existed out there. I had a buddy. If you guys remember the operator Blackbeard, I had a buddy that literally built out like the whole like see-through shield that you put on your scar. He built that out and he put that on his SR-25. That was kind of cool. I'm not going to lie. It was a fucking sweet loadout that he put together. It was cool, man. It was freaking sweet. I still, to this day, will see people that want to build, you know, have charms, that will still want to build loadouts based off the operators that they see, to the point where it's still talked about even to this day, right? And it's still a game that maybe not the most fun at this current day and age, and it is very sweaty. But in terms of its overall staying power, where do you guys think? For me, I would say, even though it's definitely nowhere near as talked about as much now, I at least want to give it the top of B tier. You know what I mean? I at least want to give it the top of B tier for sure. I don't know. I know there are people that play it and it's a fun game, and that's totally fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that or anything. But I would say a B tier just because it's nowhere near talked about as much right now. And that's going to be the next game that I want to talk about. But before we get into that, guys, remember, get those orders in. Every $20 that you spend right now will automatically enter you into the giveaway going on in just 2 days. Live stream giveaway. But every $50 right now will be getting you 2 entries. So now's the time to go ahead and get those airsoft guns you've been wanting. Put together that loadout you've been dreaming of by getting all your airsoft goodies from airsoftgi.com. Remember, you order yourself a Mayo Gang mystery box with this wicked insane prize list right now. You will be getting yourself 15 entries, 15 chances of taking home that prize pot all for yourself, in addition to whatever awesome prize you win from the mystery box. Don't miss out. We have less than an hour left of the live stream before we close out, so don't miss out. Don't miss out. Okay, the next one I want to talk about. Oh, hold on, let me crack my bag. Oh, yeah, that felt good. Whew, all right. What was it again? Oh, yes. This game. Where do I begin with this? Well, what's a good picture for it? You know, we'll use this one. Yeah, that'll work. Yes. What do we think about this next little game? You might have heard of it, called Escape from Tarkov. What do we think, chat? What are we thinking? What are our opinions on Escape from Tarkov? Now, if it were just me, I am going to give it A tier. Probably, I'm going to say here. I'm going to say right there. And I say it's A tier for a reason. Never heard of it. I cannot tell you the amount of dudes that constantly reference it, right? I don't know if it's necessarily S tier because not everyone, because yeah, it is a little bit expensive to like be able to get into, right? It doesn't have the accessibility, but despite the accessibility, you forget Tarkov is not a new game. It's been around for years, and people are still referencing it, especially when you get into the Rust 4 Milsim side. Oh, dude, the Milsim dudes, bro, they fucking, I wouldn't be surprised if they gooned this game. You kidding me? Freaking gooning it. And I get it, right? The sheer amount of detail and customization that you can get with this game and with the gun models, like, it's crazy. It's nuts. I've never seen that level of detail before. It is absolutely insane, right? It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts, right? And just the sheer amount of inspiration that Tarkov has, right? To the point where even COD is trying to have its own extraction, mode, specifically to combat the growing numbers that Tarkov was getting, right? And that it's still getting even to this day. People say that. People say they're still trying to escape. Yeah, man. People are still trying to get out of that shit, man. It's crazy. That's A or S. Teaches you about sneaking, building weapons, chef's kits. Yeah. And there is this whole, it started off as a cult following, right, that I noticed. And I have seen this game blow up like crazy, man. Absolutely insane. So unfortunately, there are so many games out there that are really good but pay to win, where wallet warriors dominate. That is true. That is absolutely true. But I will say, I know for a fact there is a skill element to this game as well, like many good games out there. But it just is an incredibly frustrating game mode. But man, the people get into this, bro. Like, it is nuts, right? I want to give it an A tier because the amount of times that people will show me screenshots of the models that they've built in Tarkov, and they want to recreate this exactly in Airsoft. especially because they're in that Rust 4 scene. They're already in the AK sort of like rabbit hole. If you're in the, if you find yourself playing Airsoft with an AK, it most likely has something to do with Escape from Tarkov. Like, for sure. You know what I mean? That is not a game. It's a casino. It's not gambling. It ain't gambling. What is it, Battlefront 2? You kidding me? Battlefront 2 is way more of a casino than that, dude. Or DMZ? Yeah, absolutely DMZ. Alex, have yourself a wonderful night, my man. You got streamers wearing full kit playing Tarkov. That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying. It literally popularized the extraction shooter. It really did. Like, if we're talking about it, like, that was the first game to really make extraction shooters that popular. You know what I mean? It wasn't a battle royale. It was an extraction shooter. And Tarkov really cemented itself, man. Like, you know, to this day, it's... I gotta give it credit where credit's due, you know? The fact that it is this influential in Airsoft is absolutely nuts. There are Tarkov players that are getting into Airsoft specifically because they would see other Tarkov players doing the exact same thing, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys don't understand. Most of these kids get the games for free nowadays. Oh, the boomers. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I mean, to be fair, if they're like super young, yeah, they're having their parents pay for it. That's kind of a given, you know? All right, but the next game you think I should go on and talk about on here? I don't really know. I feel like I've covered the majority of, like, at least the big ones here anyway. I feel like I know I'm missing one or two, but I feel like in general I've kind of covered like the big ones here anyway in terms of like FPS games, right? I don't even want to like start getting into whether or not like third-person shooters really did much for the scene. I feel like, again, it's mainly FPSs, and again, I feel like I've covered the big ones. You know what I mean? You can rank games, but you won't play with me. Just say you hate me. What the fuck? Say, what the fuck? What's going on, Sigma? Good to have you here as well. Nah, free. What do you mean free? Ain't nobody getting games for free, dog. Ain't nobody getting that shit for free. Ghost Recon was... You know what? I'll do the Ghost Recon. Ghost Recon. Which one? You know what? Which one? Because that in itself, even though that is part of like Ghost Recon its own thing, it's like it has a whole variety of different, you know, like games under its belt, man. Are we doing Future Soldier? Are we doing Wildlands? We're doing Breakpoint? What are we doing here? What are we doing? Which one? There's so many. You know what? I will say. You know what? I'll do a few of them. We have some time. We got like, what is that? 36 minutes? Yeah, we got 36 minutes. Let's go ahead and do it. Downloads. Yes. Okay. Let's go here. Escape from Tarkov. Let's go ahead and add you. Where are you? Yes. Future Soldier. A bit of a throwback, but just I figured we're gonna be talking about it. Might as well. You know what I mean? Ghost Recon Future Soldier. This was the one that made everyone want. What was it? The XM8. The XM8, that gun, holy shit, dude, that shit was hilarious. That whole future loadout, even some of the pieces of the kit are, technically speaking, still around. You know, the Cry cage that they used to wear, like that shit. It's a piece of kit that you could get, right? The helmet, obviously, with the HUD setup, that shit's kind of weird. Like, it's cool, but like definitely not available now. And this is not something that I necessarily see too many people talk about now, unless you're a little bit of an older head now, right? I would say if we're going down the entire Ghost Recon series, right, I would say that this one is probably, I'd say it's about here. You know what I mean? Like, it definitely was cool for the time, but yeah, you know what? I'm gonna put it here for now, but we're gonna move on. We're not gonna spend too much time on it because we're gonna do Ghost Recon. Fuck, I can't spell Recon Wildlands. All right, there we go. There we go. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Save image as, yes, downloads, yes. All right, now we're gonna be talking, getting a little bit more closer to modern times, goes into where we are today. We're gonna do Wildlands, baby. We're gonna be doing Wildlands. Oh man, the character customization was pretty nuts, honestly, when it came out at the time. Campaign and like the story itself, like, was pretty fucking cool. I will admit, it was a very cool location. I think the loadouts were sick as fuck, honestly. Even just the default ones. But, again, if we are looking at the overall customization, People will still reference it to this day. That's still being like one of their favorite games. Usually, I'll hear a lot of conversations of people wanting to go ahead and hook up online. Not that kind of hookup, but just link up and play online together, playing Wildlands. I've seen it, and I think it definitely earns its spot. But I don't know. I'll say maybe. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm gonna say. I'll say more than the OG Counter-Strike, but I'll say less than Siege. I'll say because I feel like Siege has just a little bit more of a stronger, like, staying power than Wildlands. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know what you guys think about that as well. A for Dave's here for Wildlands all day. Oh man, that's right. Speaking of Wildlands, join us at Wildlands Saturday starts this Saturday. That's right. For anyone that doesn't know, myself, RPG Lovers, Brewer, Seabass, Dark Tree, we're going to be pulling through, playing at Wildlands, Drunk on the Paintball, this Saturday if you guys want to pull through. It's going to be absolutely fun. Just, regular public games, nothing crazy. Just going to do regular walk-ons. If you guys want to pull through, it's going to be fun. I'm probably going to be there from, like, 10, maybe, around there. 10. But, again, let me know what you guys think about this ranking right now. I don't know. Does it belong here? Should it go higher? You know what? I don't know, man. I don't really know, dude. I don't know. Wildlands, what a total new experience. Oh, that's funny. It's dope as fuck if you got a good squad on hardcore. I don't know. People are still begging for a true sequel to Wildlands because Breakpoint was a huge. That is a big agreeing point for a lot of people that I've talked to. I haven't played Breakpoint, but I have heard that people say the same thing. You know what? I'll keep it here, but I will rank Breakpoint lower. See, it's Wildlands Saturday. You better be there. Absolutely. I'll buy you better be there, man. You better be there. This Saturday's gonna be lit. Okay, I'll leave it there. I'll do one more. What the fuck? What else can I do? I'll do Breakpoint. Yeah. I'll do this guy. Save image as. Downloads. Yes, sir. Yes, sirree, Bob. I'm going to go downloads here. Breakpoint. All right. Breakpoint, I'm going to be real. I think it's here. Maybe here. You know what? I'll say here. It's at the bottom of C tier. Because, again, I don't see too many people talking about. When I hear people talking about Ghost Recon now, it's only going to be Wildlands that I really hear them talking about. And if I even ask about Breakpoint, they're like, I haven't really gone to it. Or they're like, I don't really play it that much anymore. Like, I just don't think it has that same staying power. But, I don't know. Now, here's another one that I wanted to go ahead and bring up as well. This one, I think you might be surprised. And I saw someone already mention it in the chat. And I'm so glad that you guys have. Save image as. Yes. MG. There we go. All right. This one, I'm actually very curious to hear what you guys have to say about. This one might be contentious. Some of you guys might have already. Yeah, I know. I see for a fact some of you guys have already mentioned it as well. Breakpoint wasn't all over a experience. I've heard that sentiment before. Metal Gear. We're gonna put this one, Colonel. I want to put it on A tier. I'm being serious. I actually do want to put Metal Gear on A tier. Hear me out. I kind of want to put it about here. I don't know. Again, you feel free to fight me. Feel free to argue with me. It's fine. I accept it. It's fine. I know it's not everyone's gonna agree with me, but here's why. And I'm gonna consider all of Metal Gear. You know what? Squirrely, this is my list. You and I are on the same page. You know what? Fuck it. It's right here, baby. It's right there. S tier. That's right. That's right, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Metal Gear is S tier, baby. Yes. 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 Metal Gear series in general, right? Because let's be real. You can't just play one game. You got to play them all, right? And I love the Metal Gear series. so much. I love fucking Metal Gear, dude. Like dude, fucking yes. Yes, bro. And I saw it, dude. I saw it. I saw Metal Gear rise, to the top. And to this day, here's what, okay, I'm going to provide a non-biased, factual, based in objectivity argument for why Metal Gear needs to be in S tier. I was afraid of being biased, but you know what? In my heart of hearts, I knew it was S tier. Here's why. Even if you don't like Metal Gear, you know about it. You know what I mean? You know exactly what it is. You see a guy on the field walking around on a cardboard box, you know what the fuck that is. You know who that is, right? You see a guy in a freaking onesie with like chest rig being all sneaky and he's carrying around freaking SOCOM, you know exactly what that guy is. That's Snake. There are so many dudes that cosplay Big Boss to this day on the airsoft field, right? To this day, they're still doing it. Or they're doing Venom Snake, one of the two. There are so many guys in airsoft that are trying to recreate those kits, right? That sort of vintage, kind of a little bit sci-fi, but still grounded in history. Like, yeah, man. The attitude, the memes, dude, the memes, bro, the memes, man. Like, the memes alone are just so freaking funny and so relevant even to this day, right? Absolutely. Look, I can't deny S tier, especially when I'm subconsciously moving with quiet footsteps. That's right. The bing. What was that noise? Right? Like, yes. Even though if we're talking about like the OG game, like specifically like the 2D games that came out for the MSX, Metal Gear 2, Solid Snake, and then Metal Gear Solid right afterwards. Yeah, I would even argue too, Metal Gear Solid 2, in terms of just the overall guns, they may have like a certain legacy to it that might only like fall on, or that might only be noticed by like old heads like myself and a lot of you guys too. But even with the modern games too that have come, or more modern options and offerings that have been released, there are still people that are still clamoring for an FNC, for a lot of like these like more like Cold War based guns. Like, people still do it, and even if they're not using the guns themselves, just the overall vibes that Metal Gear Solid provided, right? And a lot of us played these games and wanted to recreate it, right? It has to be there, man. There's I want to, if I'm really nitpicking, maybe an A tier, but just the meme references alone make it an S tier, dog. Like, I cannot, Dude, if I would have known this was your topic tonight, I would have almost begged to be on as a guest. Oh, dude. I'm sorry. I didn't think about having a guest on tonight. I just thought, damn it. I didn't even think about it, man. I'm sorry. Oh, dude, that's funny, though. Is the reason Airsoft exists, man. No Metal Gear, no Airsoft. Yeah, you could make that as well. Because, again, it's the same guys that are in Japan, playing Metal Gear. That like the same gun otakus and mill nerds out there in Japan that we even have toy guns in the first place, right? Right? Airsoft included. It's that same culture, right? It's all comes from the same culture, bro. His list is wrong. What the fuck? Huh? What was that noise? Exactly, dude. Exactly. My list is not wrong. You're wrong, Sigma. All right? You're wrong. I don't want to hear that from you. I don't want to hear that at all. That's all just your opinion, man. Scrolling up. Make sure there's anything. Okay, there's nothing like hiding in the box. It's because the primary. That's it. Because the primary rifle was FAMAS and its pistol is still super popular in non-blowback for airsoft players. Yeah, man. Like I wish I could show mine up. I actually do have a SOCOM too. I have the TM one. I wish I could show that shit up. I can't. I need to get that thing fixed, by the way. Mine chops BBs. I don't know why. I had a new inner barrel installed, and ever since then, it's just been chopping BBs like crazy. I remember wanting the chest rig from Metal Gear Solid 4. Dude, everyone wanted that rig. Dude, that rig was sick. I think that what is it? Metal Gear Solid 4 was actually another reason why I think the Scar also got a little popular, because there were quite a few Scar models in that game as well, and that's another reason why they're popular. Because again, it just added to it. It definitely wasn't the main reason, but it helped. It definitely helped bring hype to the Scar fandom, if you will. And if we really wanted to, we can dissect the Metal Gear series even further if we want to go, Metal Gear Solid 1, right? Metal Gear Solid 2, which is my personal favorite, second only to Snake Eater. I know Snake Eater is typically the most popular of the original, like, PlayStation 2, PlayStation lineup, but I just, I don't know. Like, usually whenever I see, like, the original, like, the original games, like, bundled, it'll usually be, in the PlayStation 2 era specifically, it'll be Peace Walker, which I was pretty sure that was PSP, honestly. Yeah, that was PSP. Then it was Metal Gear Solid 2, which is PlayStation 2, and Snake Eater, which is PlayStation 2. Which, I love all those games. But I think my favorite is still Metal Gear Solid 2. But Snake Eater is really close behind it. Snake Eater is awesome. I am very much excited also for Delta as well when that comes out. Very, very much excited for that as well. Thank you, OG Japanese Mill Nerds and their obsession with Metal Gear. Yes, dude, that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm fucking saying. Screens going up. Metal Gear, because Japan, it can be argued the reason. Yes, yeah, you can make that argument. People still as well. Okay, all right. Scrolling down most recent comments and questions, because there's gonna be a few more. So dude, that's true. What the fuck? I didn't even think about that. Yeah, man. No, you is 100%. Doom is most definitely in the wrong tier. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying it's not as referenced anymore, man. I'm sorry. It's because you installed the barrel. I didn't even install the barrel. Some corrections needed to be made. I just can't type fast enough to explain what needs to go where because of connections to Airsoft. Where Bossman at Mang need to fix his list. Hey, man, homie G, you can make your own list. How about that, bro? Wait, had an inner barrel installed. Bougie much? Yeah, man, why not? Isaias, you need to have schooling answers to call in to debate this list. I will have another day. I definitely want to bring guests back on again. For sure, dude. That's something I wanted to do. I'll be real, it's been very busy and hectic, trying to make sure that, like, of course, I'm still on top of, like, everything else that goes on at work, that, like, I feel bad because I do not want to be that guy that, like, because I used to do this where I used to ask people, like, if they can come on this show, like, super last minute, and I do not want to do that anymore. Like, I don't want to do that to people. I want to make sure that I give people plenty of time, and I just don't, it's like, shit, it's streaming, I got it, I'm going to try to get more people on. What I want to do is, again, I want to do game night again. I know it wasn't super popular when I first started doing it, but I really do want to bring back game night and start doing, like, either Battleship again, which I've been working on my Battleship game. I'm getting better at it. What about Resident Evil? You can't say all those Airsoft zombie game isn't because of Resident Evil. That's true. I need to go ahead and do that. I need to go ahead and include. You know what? You are absolutely correct. Resident Evil. Should I do the entire? You know what? I'll just do the series kind of like what I did with Metal Gear. I mean, I know a lot of the games are different, but yeah. You know what? I will do. Where is it? Yeah, let's do this. That's what we're gonna do. Come on, save image as. Yes, sir. Alright, I'm gonna add Resident Evil on here as well. I'll try to, we might split it up, but I'll try to do it all as one series, right? And it's kind of hard to do, right? Let's put, you know what? I'm gonna put you right about. Oh man, that's tough. That is a tough one to do. Fudge, bro. You know what? I will put this here at the bottom of B, highest of C. How about that, right? If that makes any sort of sense. Okay. This is how I'm going to do it. When I'm talking about this Resident Evil, I am talking about the original trilogy. How about that? The original 3 games. The OG 3. Right, we're talking Resident Evil, Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, and we'll do RE3 specifically. We'll do the OG one. We'll do Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. I put those 3 because those 3 feel like they are more connected than the, I don't want to say mod, but like I guess like the pre-modern. I don't know I don't even know what to call it. You know what I mean? I feel like Resident Evil 4 and then 4 through 6, I feel like are just completely different games altogether. And while I do like 5 and I do respect 4, I do feel like it kind of just took a very different turn. It stopped being a horror game. You know what I mean? It just stopped being a horror game altogether. It really stopped the focus on like zombies in general, which I do feel like was a misstep in Resident Evil history. But whatever, we'll go through this. We'll go through it. Okay, the OGs, just the original 3. The original 3. Okay, I will say B tier. I will say B tier because even though it is a game that may not be as talked about as much as it was, I will say the influence itself is still being felt to this day, whether we know it or not. If it weren't for the zombie craze that they had, right? Because the Resident Evil series was made to be paying an homage to classic Americana zombie films. That was the whole point behind Resident Evil, right? Obviously, it took the very similar elements from other games at the time, other like survival horror games or just scary games in general that were going around. It brought something new to the table, right, and added this like element to it of like sci-fi horror, bioweapons and everything, right? Conspiracy, evil corporations and shit. And it paid homage to a lot of like the old classic zombie movies of the West, right? We're talking a lot of the old like Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, that sort of shit. Like it really brought all those elements from those classic movies into video game form, right? And it's freaking awesome for it. And all these zombie game modes, we wouldn't have that if it weren't for the inspiration that Resident Evil has. So even though the game itself is not maybe as talked about as often as now, right, in the same sense, we're still feeling its experience and still living it out, and its legacy is still very much present. There are still zombie games that happen every single year. Every single year, man. You know, you cannot deny the influence that it's had, right? And people, and even older heads, are still referencing it on the field as well. It may not be as highly regarded as any of these right now, right? But it still has its long-lasting like legacy that is still being felt to this day, and that it's going to be nearly impossible to kind of shake it from its core. And a lot of those early airsofters were big, die-hard Resident Evil fans as well, the original series, right? So it's kind of hard to separate the two. It's not going to be as high, again, just because of its I guess lack of relevance right now. But again, that's still not to say that it's completely irrelevant. If anything, it is still being felt to this day, and it's cemented itself as part of airsoft history. You could argue for that. It's your favorite game of all time. Ooh, you still put it in B tier. Honestly, respectable. I didn't know that was actually your favorite game series, dude. That's actually pretty fucking sick. Which one's your favorite? Which one's your favorite? For me, I like 2 a lot. Like, I really, really like 2. And I love the setting, obviously, of it being in a city. But I still think RE1 is still my favorite. I actually think RE1 is still, to this day, my absolute favorite. Is it just me, or is this diff between S and A generational thing? Yes, it is 100% a generational thing. For the most part, not 100%, but yeah, you could make the argument for it real well. You are right. Yes, it really depends, right? When you were a peak gamer, whenever you were a peak gamer is really gonna influence your decision on this, right? As we found out, there have been many vocal people on chat tonight. OG Resident Evil Director's Cut on PlayStation 1. Ooh, good choice. I like that, and you know too about the Director's Cut. I like that one, and I also, believe it or not, I actually do like the remake that they did for the GameCube, and also, of course, subsequently, like the PlayStation series as well. I used to, when I had a PS3, I actually would still play that on there. It was super fun. I love the remake too. I love the remake they did for it as well. Obviously, there's something just fun about the jank of the original for sure. Oh man, some of those classic line deliveries, man. The Jill sandwich will always bring a smile to my face, dude. Well, all the boomer games are in CNF. Not all. Resident Evil finds itself in B. And technically speaking, OG Metal Gear Solid, and I'll even consider the original 2D top-down shooters of Metal Gear. I'll consider those also in S tier as well, considering what they did. And again, like what we were saying earlier, Metal Gear fans, if it weren't for Metal Gear fans, it could be argued that we wouldn't have Airsoft to this day. Side note, where is Halo? Oh my god! Holy shit, you are right, Sigma. You know, that's the one thing you're actually right about. Yes. Halo first game. There we go. Okay. This one's kind of hard to do because I can't really sum it all up in just one series, right? I will say, okay, save image as downloads. Yes. Yes. This one, for all my Xbox boys out there, I was a PlayStation boy, but I will always say this: as much as I was very much happy with my Metal Gear, I will say I was always jealous of Xbox because of the Halo series, because that shit's right up my alley. Now, it's hard to say. I'll do the. You know what? I will segment, and I'll do kind of like lightning round for it. I'll do kind of lightning round for this. Halo. Where exactly would I put the first game? For me, it's kind of hard, but I feel like because it's found kind of the same way that Battlefield has kind of found that second life, and Metal Gear is still it feels like it's like this timeless thing. I will say that I think it definitely belongs in A tier for sure. Now, where on A tier? I'm gonna say about here. I'm gonna say about here. Maybe no. I'll say about here. Yes, I'll say about here for now. We're talking. Well, we'll split it up. Right? Halo 1. Maybe B tier. Maybe B tier. But I'm gonna say A tier because even though it is a little bit older, you cannot tell me that people still don't. Dude, every time I'm walking onto the airfield, just the walk from the staging area to the field itself, I will always hear. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still hearing that fucking theme song every which way I go, right? And people are still referencing the old game too. Not even Halo Infinite, the old game. People are still fucking talking about it. You know what? I will say, how about this? I will put this down onto B tier. I will put it onto B tier, right? Halo in that spot for both makes reasonable sense in this. It's hard, you know what I mean? Like I kind of want to put it into both, just because of I don't know. Maybe here, I don't know, dude. It's kind of hard to say. I'm gonna say I think more people were into the subsequent Halo games than the first one. Again, this one is very much has to be here. You cannot ignore it. You're right. You cannot. Every time you're on the big field, man, can you imagine a Warthog run? Yes, dude. You know what I'm talking about. Absolutely. That's far for both makes reasonable sense as well. I think on average it's like Halo. What do you mean, CJ? No. Say no to micro suck. Oof. Is high A the only Halo with a fully balanced sandbox? I'm gonna keep it there. How about there? Yeah, I'll say yeah. Are the key. You hear that still on the field today? Yeah. The only thing that doesn't keep this from being an S tier is because, again, it is a little bit older, unfortunately. It would have worked really well if it fell on the face commercially because the voice command system sucked. SOCOM 2 did a little better, but it was a game before its time. But I've seen Halo cosplay on the field. Can't deny that. Yes. Now, the cosplay we're seeing is going to come from subsequent games, but you know what? We'll do lightning round. Okay, we'll do Halo 2, baby. Halo 2. What are we thinking, boys? I'm going to be real. I think this one's going to be a little bit higher. If I'm being honest. Save image as downloads. Yes. As influential as the first game is, right? Halo 2, I just think brings a little bit more to it as well. I think more people played Halo 2 than Halo 1, oddly enough. I think by this point, Halo became kind of a household name. But I'll go ahead and bring it up here. And I know some people were kind of mad about like the campaigns like ending and shit. I thought it was fucking cool. I don't know. Maybe I'm in the minority for that for some reason. All right, I'm gonna put this here. Hold on, there you go. I would say here. Only because when I see people like referencing it, it's usually referencing the campaign of 2 more than the campaign of 1 more. That's the only reason why. You know what I mean? When I hear conversations on the field, I usually hear the campaign. They love the campaign more for 2 than they do of 1. So yeah. I would say there. I know it's hard to put this shit on here. You know, it's hard to really dedicate a spot to it and be like, because you can make a counter argument for any of these, really. I remember playing LAN with my homies, 8 of us, 4v4 on Halo 2. Love that game. Dude, yeah, absolutely. It's really a game because Airsoft nowadays weren't born yet. Dude, I love this. Is the most contentious fucking argument. The movies one wasn't this bad. The movies one was not this bad in terms of getting people to debate right now, dude. That's fucking hilarious. Oh, man. Why is Tarkov so high? Because Milsim, bro. You know how many fucking Rust 4 Milsim guys constantly reference and show me screenshots of that game, like, I want to build this gun exactly the way this. So you can't tell me that. And again, just the overall popularity that it gave to the extraction shooter game mode, you know. But can't deny the gun knowledge it built. What is the title in What? Hey, what is the title in S4? S4. 2, 3, 4. Oh, my bad. That's Metal Gear. We're talking about the Metal Gear series. I can't separate them. That's like, it's impossible to. It's impossible to. The Metal Gear series is fucking goated. You know what I mean? It's fucking insane. It's so awesome. It cemented itself as part of Airsoft history, even. It's because me and Schooling Nuts, Airsoft here. Our thoughts are facts. Oh, que la chinga. You know? Okay. All right, bro. All right. But okay, Halo 2, I'm going to keep it there. I'm going to keep it there if that's all right with you guys. All right with you. All right. Let's do now Halo 3, baby. Let's do Halo 3. Halo 3. What's a good picture? Yeah, I'll use this one. Yeah, that's a good one. Save image as downloads. There we go. All right. Now we're going to insert the 3. That's what she said. Anyway, Halo 3 box art. Yep. All right, Halo 3. What are we thinking, boys? I still think there. If I'm being honest, I think there. I would have to say even above Halo 2. Well, actually, meh. Even though I feel like more people technically played Halo 3, I feel like it's Halo 2 is still more talked about than 3. Maybe. But I see more cosplayers going for loadouts from 3 than I do for 2. We'll just consider these interchangeable, but I'll put 2 slightly above. Just because, again, the amount of people that talk about that fucking campaign is crazy, dude. It's absolutely crazy. Damn Sigma. This is a damn Sigma mic drop. Sigma, that statement is why we are friends. Oh, that's hilarious. Ask any affiliate player that's been a PlayStation player from the beginning, and it's SOCOM is in that conversation. Still going on about SOCOM, dude. What the fuck? I gotta remind he's dumb since I left GI. Dude, think he's right. Gotta put this guy back in his place. Oh yeah. All right. Sigma. Says the guy that's too cowardly to play anymore. Says the guy that quit because he's a pansy, bro. Jazz needs to take the alcohol away. I haven't even been drinking. What the fuck? What the fuck, guys? All right, now this next one's gonna be a little weird, but I think it's worth hearing me out. Here on this one. This guy, what the fuck? I'll do this picture. This one works better. Downloads, yes. All right, there we go. Yeah. Halo 3 ODST. I'm gonna be real with you. There is a part of me that's tempted to put it here. There's really a part of me that's tempted to put it up here. Just because as much as I hear about like the mainline Halo games, ODST for some reason, man, like just found its second life. You know, it found its way to cement itself not only in meme history, but also just Airsofter lore in general, right? Because the same guys that grew up playing the Halo series, a lot of them will still revere Halo 3 as like being like probably their absolute favorite, and I get it. Now, do I think it is S tier for me personally? I don't know. You know, I will say I think it will be here. Hear me out. Black Ops 2 is A. Black Ops 2 at A is the same as you saying We Kappa is as TM. Nah, I wouldn't. That's an incorrect comparison, my guy. You are smoking the cocaine, bro. You are smoking it. I would say here. I would say here. Maybe you could argue for it, but honestly, this seems like the most reasonable spot for it. Excuses, they're like assholes. Everyone has one and they all stink. Thank you, Real Wild. Thank you. Dude being a normal guy, no super soldier, so Armor OST is a horror game. That's what I'm saying, dude. That's why I consider it a little bit higher than the original games. Even though, for me personally, I think these original games are, again, fucking awesome. Something about ODST that is magical. Now, with that being said, I think no one will argue me on this one. I don't think anyone would argue me on this. This is... If someone argues with me on here, I'm going to be honest, I don't really care. Because I know too many people that play Airsoft specifically and mention this specifically. And will always say this and will always reference it on almost every single round that is played. On every single map. I'm going to say it's there. I'll say the bottom of this here. But I do feel strongly that Reach deserves its spot on S tier. Objective, survive. That is up there. That is like second most quoted thing that I will hear. Like when you are the last, couple of guys on your team. Other than, you're the last one, complete the mission. Right? Come on. You cannot tell me that you have not heard that. I hear that shit constantly. Especially now. Right? Something about like the modern era, again, just brought that second life to Halo Reach. Even though it's well past its prime. I would say it's S tier just because of how much it's referenced now. How many times an Airsoft is going to quote it. Right? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like this is the best place for me to put it. I'm just saying. What the George doing? Yes, thank you, RPG Love. You know what I'm talking about. Even in meme history, it's got itself like cemented in that area as well. I don't know. Like I feel like it really does deserve that spot. Same experiences the best RPG ever created. It's called Outside. Features the best physics engine ever devised. Airsoft Brewer, we're going to N1 next month after school. Stabilize. Oh, the boys going to N1. I might actually be down for that. If you're going Sigma, I'll go. Oh man, you know what? That's got to be it. Because we can do this all fucking day. we can be here for a while. Doing even more games. And if we really wanted to, we could expand into the franchises even further. But honestly, I'm basically out of time on this shit. But holy shit, dude, that was fucking fun. That was awesome. Oh my god, I did not expect it to be that heated in the comments or in the freaking live chat. That is hilarious. That we got that many people debating amongst themselves. That is so funny to me. Thank you guys for everyone for keeping it civil. I know earlier in the stream there was some that was a little, some people that were a little, you know what I mean. Let's put a stop to that, right? So I'm glad it calmed down. I'm glad we were able to talk about this in earnest and be able to have a civil discussion about it. But yeah, man, let me know what you guys think about this. I would love to do another one. Maybe I'll bring Squirrely on for the next one. Dude, that's just funny. Holy shit. Oh yeah, because there's so many other friends. We still gotta talk about Borderlands. We still gotta talk more about even the sequel series to a lot of these other series as well. There's more things we got to go over as well. But yes, make sure to go and leave a like on the stream. Thank you, Real Wild. Make sure to go and leave a like on the stream. Share this around with as many people as possible. Remember, guys, we have our live stream giveaway happening in 2 more days. Make sure to get those orders in. Don't miss out. Make sure to get yourself a Mayo Gang mystery box because we're less than halfway available. Less than half of those are available right now. Less than half of the boxes you can still buy. It's running out fast, man. It is running out very quick. So make sure to get yours now while you can. Everyone always game for the Eve civil discussion about games and Airsoft. Absolutely, I'm always down for a discussion. Guys, have yourself a wonderful night. Again, I appreciate every single one of you guys for making this possible. I would not be here in the position that I am if it weren't for you guys. I never want you to forget it. I appreciate every single one of you guys for taking the time out of your busy schedules to hang out with myself and the rest of the Airsoft community. You guys have yourself a wonderful night. Take it easy. Again, I'm going to be playing this Saturday. And make sure not to miss out on this Thursday's live stream giveaway. You guys have yourself a wonderful night. Take it easy.